Hello everyone. In today's lecture of Principles and Practices of Management, we would be taking decision making, its characteristics, importance, process, factors affecting decision making, types, and essentials and difficulties in decision making. So let's start with the meaning and definition of decision making. It says in all the organization, whether it is a big or a small, decisions are made, and through decisions, the gap between the existing situation and the desired situation is reduced. So basically, decision making is reducing the gap between the existing situation and the desired situation, what you want or how you want to achieve those objectives. So basically, decision making is a process of selecting from a set of alternative course of actions which is thought to fulfill the objectives of the decision problems more satisfactorily than others. There is another definition which says by R. Terry that decision making is the selection based on certain criteria from two or more alternatives. So decision making can be regarded as a cognitive process resulting in the selection of the course of action among several alternatives. Means there are several alternatives. One best alternative has to be chosen, that is a decision to be made. So every decision making process produces a final choice. There's a last definition by Hens, Virich and Harold Kunj says decision making is defined as a selection of the course of action among alternatives. It is the care of planning. Let's come to the nature and characteristics of decision making. First, it says decision making is the selection process, means it's choosing from various alternatives. It is never ending because every time a manager has to make on and off decisions on some or other matter. It is a human oriented process, as it's a human or a manager who's taking the decisions as it anticipated. It is like it's putting application of its intelligence abilities to a great extent. It is based on an environment, means it depends on the environment, the micro environment and the macro environment, and it is also time dimensions, it is time bound. It is a purposeful activity. Obviously, you know what is required, what are your resources, what are your constraints, and accordingly you evaluate the alternatives available and select the one. And it involves rationality because through decisions an endeavor is made to better one's happiness. Endeavor means it is an attempt to achieve the goal. The next are, it may be also negative in the sense decision not to take a decision is a decision. So it involves a certain commitment which may be for short run or long run depending upon the type of the decisions. And decision making is purely situational and it's a dynamic process. So let's come to the importance of decision making. It says better utilization of resources, means decisions are based on how the resources are better utilized. And next is decisions, because it plays an important role in the management of the organization, and the manager performs all their functions and activities through decision making. He is the one who makes the right decision at the right time and it is valued. Okay, and it helps the management to procure necessary data and information. So it helps the business to grow. It helps the managers to achieve objectives by taking decisions. It facilitates innovation. Then it motivates the employees, and it also helps in solving problems in management, and it helps in team work also. So basically management and decision making are inseparable, means the manager has to choose the best suitable alternative from a group of alternatives, means take a right decision on the right time. And all the functions of management consider decision making as important because decisions could be relating to anything like structure, method, nature of function, division of work or authority or responsibility related to the capital, related to the production, etc. So decision making helps in forming business policies also. And it also helps, decision making also helps in the measurement of efficiency of the manager, means how efficient is the manager to take effective decisions. If a manager has skills, efficiency, intellectual skills, then only he will be able to take a proper decision and analyze the situation also. So basically decision making is both the end and the means. Let's come to the principles of decision making. It says it's a principle of problem orientation, means there is a problem, it has to be sorted, there are various alternatives, it has to be solved. So it is a principle of expectations. Expectations means any decisions which can be made by the subordinate should be left to him to make. That is the decisions relating to the operational details. The manager should take only policy related decisions. It is a principle of alternatives, means only realistic and feasible alternatives should be analyzed fully. Then it says it's a principle of limiting factors, means it recognizes and overcoming the factors that stand crucial in the way of a goal to achieve the best alternative course of action can be selected. Next is principle of bounded and limited rationality, means a manager must settle for bounded or limited rationalities, means they should pick up a course of action that is satisfactory or good enough under the existing circumstances. Then it says principle of commitment, means both the manager himself and the subordinate to implement the decisions. And the last one is the principle of participation, means the manager should understand that the participation of the subordinates in decision making process not only improves their quality but also inculcates in him a sense of commitment and support for such decisions. Let's come to the process of decision making. The first, it says, like decision making is not an easy job. It requires lots of skills, and manager is able to take good decisions. If he fails to follow a sequential set of steps, which includes the steps are, the first is identification of a problem, means recognition of a problem that changes, because there are changes in the business environment in the main reason, like the micro environment and the macro environment. The second is diagnosing the problem. Diagnosing the problem is he acts like a doctor while doing the diagnosing of the problem. Then the third one is collect and analyze the relevant information. Means he has to collect the relevant information at various levels. The manager should see that the only relevant information alone is collected and analyzed. The fourth step is the discovery of the alternative course of action. Is out of the various alternatives, he has to discover the alternatives available to sort out that problem. For this, he has to have a creative thinking. It is advisable for the manager that he should discover a number of alternatives. Time and cost are the probable limiting factors for an organization. The fifth one is analyzing the alternatives, means the pros and cons of the available alternatives are analyzed in detail. The screening of alternatives means the available alternatives are screened in order to maximize benefits derived from them. Tangible factors include profit earned, time taken, money invested. The seventh step is related to the selection of the best alternative, means the best alternative can be selected after careful evaluation. Approaches while selecting an alternative are on the basis of the manager's past experience, or an alternative is put into practice and the results are observed. The eighth one is conversion of the decision into action, means the further course of action is scheduled on the basis of selecting the alternatives or decisions. Here the manager has to consider the policy of the management. The ninth one is implementation. Here the manager, what he does is he implements the decisions to achieve the desired goals. And the last one is verifying the decisions. It is the duty of the manager to see whether the decision is properly implemented or not. There is this slide which says the factors affecting decision making, which are divided into the tangible factors and intangible factors. Tangible factors are the factors which we can see and feel, like sales is reducing or decreasing or increasing, the cost of manufacture or the purchase, the production, the inventory, the financial, the personnel, the logistics. Means the effect of any decision on one or more of the tangible factors can be measured, and therefore it is easy to consider the pros and cons of every decisions. But the decisions based on these factors are likely to be rational and free from bias and feeling of the decision makers, because it can be seen and felt. Whereas the intangible factors are the prestige of the enterprise, like which cannot be seen and felt, it can only be felt. So the consumer behavior, the employee's morale, the availability of alternatives, the experience of the decision maker, the knowledge base. So these are intangible, means the accurate information and the data about these factors, it is not easy to obtain. Therefore, intuitions, the value judgment of the decision maker will assume a significant role in the choice of a particular alternative. Let's come to the next slide, which says the types of decisions. Let's start with the programmed and non-programmed decisions. Program decision is in accordance with some policy, rules and procedures, and these decisions are repetitive and they are routine and easy to make. Examples are pricing ordinary customer orders, determining salary, payment of ill employees, etc. Whereas the non-program decisions they are also called the strategic or basic decisions, and they are taken by the top management people whenever the necessity arises. It is non-repetitive in nature and they are custom tailored, like how to allot the organization resources, what to do about the falling product line. So in non-program decisions, the managers bring his own personnel beliefs, attitude and value judgments to bear on the decision making process, whereas the managers acts rationally and arrives at a different solutions to the same problem. So basically these are the programmed and non-programmed decisions. The second one is the major and the minor decision. It says the relative and the significance of the decision is measured in 4 ways. That is, first, the degree of feasibility of decision. Second, the impact of the decision on the other functional areas. Third, the qualitative factor that enters the decisions. And the fourth one is reoccurrence of the decisions. So routine and strategic decisions, where routine decisions, they are the supportive decisions related to the present, and they achieve efficiency in the company's ongoing activities. Example, parking facilities or cafeteria services, etc. Whereas the strategic decisions examples are lowering the price of the product, changing the product line. So they require lengthy deliberations and large funds are taken at higher level. So these are the strategic decisions, whereas then is a policy and operative decisions. So policy decisions are related to the policies, and the operative decisions are related to the day-to-day operation of the organization. The next one is the organizational and the personal decision. The organizational decisions are the decision where the manager takes a decision and implements it for the effective functioning of the organization. Personal decision is which the decision maker makes it for his personal life. The individual and the group decisions. It is in the group decision, the top management fixed the time within which the committee is expected to submit its report with concrete decisions. Long-term decisions are related to the long-term, and short-term is for the short period of time. Departmental decisions, here it says it's a decision maker's departmental head or departmental manager. Whereas the non-economic decisions are related to the values and moral behavior. Crisis decisions and research decisions. Crisis decisions are those which are made to meet the unanticipated situations, mostly made immediately under the pressure of the circumstances, whereas the research decisions are made after thorough analysis without any pressure. Then there is the initiative and the forced decisions, and the last one is the problem and the opportunity decisions. Decisions resolving problem situations which have arisen as anticipated or not. The opportunity decisions pertain to taking advantage of a opportunity, sometimes involved risk also. Let's come to the essentials of effective decisions, which says accuracy has to be checked, the environment for decision has to be checked, it has to be timely decisions, there has to be communication of decision, it has to have a participative decision making and the implementation of the decision. And the last one is difficulties faced in decision making is there could be like the manager could be having incomplete information, or there can be unsupportive environment within the organization or outside the organization. The third one, it says non-acceptance of subordinates. And the fourth one is ineffective communication and incorrect timings could be the difficulties in decision making. That's all in this slide. Thank you so much, class.